Hey guys, what's going on? In this tutorial we're going to start really simple, and in future tutorials we're going to add more to this and do some really cool effects, but we're going to stay simple. My playback might be a little slow right now. As you can see, I've got some encoding processes going on. I'm using almost 5 gigs of RAM, so we're going to try to get through this simple part of the video, and we're going to add to this later. If I scroll through here, you can see this is just a nice little highlight dragging around the ring there. Really cool, simple, elegant, and pretty. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys how I did that. Really simple. Okay, so let's get started with a new group, and I'll turn this group off. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a custom shape. We're going to grab circle. I'm going to hold the alternate and shift key. Okay, that way I'll draw a perfect circle, like so. Let's center it up, and let's turn off our fill and turn on our outline. Now let's pick a good color. I like the dark purple. We'll use that. Okay, that's looking okay. Now, there's several things we can do from here, depending on how you want to work this. The first thing we want to do before we do anything else is change our brush top from solid to airbrush. Okay? And what that does, that changes it into dabs, like little dabs, little dots, real close together. Okay? And this will allow us to work and be a little do things with our circle that we wouldn't be able to do any other way. So now that we have this one little circle, let's go ahead and up the width. So let's take our width and up it up. And you know what? Make things easier, let's go ahead and duplicate that circle. So select your circle and hit Command D, and that's going to duplicate our circle. Okay, so now let's go ahead and work on our duplicate circle and leave our normal circle alone. Okay, not only are we going to need 2 copies of our circle anyway, if we mess up and do something wrong, we still have that original circle we can revert back to. Okay, so let's go ahead and do what we're going to do to our copy of our circle. So let's up the copy to about width. Let's up the width to about, let's say 20, let's say 30. We can make it, that's a little bit big. Let's make it a little bit, let's try 15. 15 looks, 15, 17, something like that. That looks pretty good. And let's turn on additive blend. And when we turn on additive blend, you'll see, woo, now we're getting some nice glowy effect here, okay? Now that we've done that, we've still got our original circle. Let's leave it alone and let's continue working on our copied circle. So now let's go over to our stroke tab, okay? And under our stroke tab, up here at the top, we'll see an opacity over stroke. Let's turn down that disclosure triangle. Okay, now it should be all white, and I only have one square on mine. I need to add a couple, so I'm just going to go through and click, and that's going to add a couple more color bars. Okay, I'm going to right click on this first one, and I'm going to choose black, and I'm going to right click on this last one. I'm going to choose black. Okay, now you can see we'll only be able to see a certain portion of the circle, and if I turn off our original circle, now you can see how the opacity coming into effect here. If I move these off, if I take these and drag them off, okay, now we have our circle back. Let's drag, once again, some squares into place and put one right in the middle. Now you can see it's all white and we have our whole circle. Let's change it by right clicking and changing it to black. Now you can see when I do that, the end of this circle fades off, just like the end of this bar is fading off. Let's do the same thing here, right click. Now you can see the end of our circles fading out on both sides. So let's pull these in, like so, to where we just have a little portion of that circle showing. Like that right there. Now if you look over here in the canvas, we just have this little bitty portion of this showing, okay? Which is kind of what we wanted. Now if we turn back on the circle, our original circle, now you can see we have this little bitty highlight here. And we can make that highlight as big as we want by adjusting this fall off here, okay? Now of course you can go in, you can even add a filter to it if you want. Maybe a glow, a bloom. Now we're getting some nice bluish highlights here on the edges. So how are we going to make this rotate around our circle? Well, that's not a problem. Let's make sure our little highlight is selected, which is the copy of our circle. Let's go to our properties, turn down your rotation disclosure triangle, and you can see you can select the Z or the Z rotation, right click and choose rate. And you can give it the rate whatever you want. I'm going to give it an 85% rate, like so. And now when I play this, you can see it's going around our circle. You can see it's slowly working its way around our circle. Now, as I said before, there's lots of little things that you can do with this, and in future videos I plan on doing a lot of things, and we're going to go through it. Like this is just one little example of some of the cool things we can do here. And as you can see in this example, all I did was duplicate this. I just took my group, I duplicated it and twirled the groups around, and it looked like I kind of had a spear. So if I take this, duplicate it, and take this group and spin it around like this, now you can see we're getting this cool little effect here, like so. And we could even take our original group and duplicate it even one more time and turn it all the way around this way. Now we're going to get a really cool effect, but I don't think it's going to play back too well because it's pretty, well, there it goes. It's playing back pretty good. Let me let it play there. Now, as you can see, we're getting this really cool little effect here. And you can go in and you can experiment with this stuff, as I was saying. And, you know, I mean, as I said before, we're going to get into more. Now I just added a camera. Now I'm just zooming around here so you can see that it is a 3D object, actually, because I'm rotating around the object with my camera, and as you can see. So we can go back in. You want to make sure you do a couple things. So let's go and pause this. They all met right up here in the middle there. Really nice looking little glow there when they all three met at the same spot. Let's pause this and let's turn off a couple of these here. And let's go back to where we was to begin with. Right there. Okay, now let's turn down our group here. Now, as you can see under our shape, under our stroke tab, we'll have what you call a local 3D. You want to check that local 3D and turn on face camera. You want to do that for all your circles. That way, when you do go into 3D with the camera and you start duplicating this, it's going to have a little bit of width to it when you turn it on its side. And I'll try to demonstrate that here in just a second. Let me turn all the local 3Ds and face cameras onto our circles. Under our stroke tab of the shape. And this way, now when I grab a group and rotate it, it's going to keep just a little bit of depth to it than if I turned off local 3D. There we go. So that, my friends, is the beginnings of some pretty cool stuff you can do inside Motion here with just a simple, cool little highlight. And I think how we made the highlight by making this circle outline fade out on the ends is a really good trick for a lot of things. I mean, heck, if you think about it, you could take one of your circles here and fill it in. You could change the color of it to purple. Make it real dark. Maybe even change the opacity. I'm just doing this on the fly. I didn't expect to do this. Now it kind of looks like we got a planet, a purple planet going on, with a nice little highlight coming out over the edge there from a sun or a moon. As you can see, if you just brainstorm, you can think of a lot of great things to do with this little trick. And I hope that you all tune in for our future videos, and we're going to see what we can do with this. Thanks for watching. See you next time.